Hello my friends, Mike here with Mike's Wilderness, and it is October 31st, 2020, and it is Halloween, and it's about 2:30, and I'm out here in my favorite state park here, getting in a hike, coping with COVID, and yeah, just thought I'd get out here, get a little video, and show you all how the trees have dropped a lot of their leaves. And now we're beginning to see more and more of the water of the Minneopa Creek down there and across the valley into the county park. There is a lookout over there. I don't see anybody standing at it, but yeah, it's a gorgeous day. It's overcast, but it's not too cold, not too warm. I think it's in the mid-50s or so. And yeah, gonna get in a hike. So there's my introduction for today, and let's go out and see what kind of adventure we can come up with, if anything. All right, take care, catch you in a bit. Hello my friends. Well, you might recall a couple of videos back I started on a oak wood tent stake and demonstrated how the paracord fit in the notch. But I usually need about 2 tent stakes to at least put up a lean-to shelter with my tarp. And so I found another piece of oak here, and going to cut a notch into it. You can kind of see where I made a mark to where the stop cut's going to become evident, and I will carve up to it and make a similar notch to what I had in the first one. So always fun to have a good whittling project at hand. And yeah, who knows, maybe we'll get around to hanging that tarp and show you how it works. Anyway, that's just a moment in my hike here to practice a little skills and relax with a little whittling. Alright, on with the adventure. Well, there my friends, we got another tent hook or tent stake made with about the same dimensions. And yeah, now we're ready to make shelter at any time. So, all right, let's get going. Well, I'm here in one of the group campsites, and I just wanted to point out something. You can see here evidence of the purchased wood from the park. You know, it's usually split and ready for use, and but there is one log there that's kind of broken up. But then if you look over here under the picnic table, you can find a whole collection of wood. Some of it the purchased wood from the park, and some of it somebody's busted up and looks to be evidence of an axe or something on the ends having used to break it up. This in spite of the park rule that says you're not supposed to gather firewood. So I never know what to make of it. You know, some state parks, they actually encourage the use of dead fallen, and to make fires. It kind of keeps the forest floor clear of a lot of stuff, and there are other parks that say no, they don't want it being used. But I wouldn't hesitate for an afternoon lunch to use what's here and build a small fire, do some cooking, and yeah. Always nice to have some free stuff, and this looks to be still pretty dry. We haven't had a whole lot of rain recently. It'll probably light up pretty good, and that piece right there would give some pretty good shavings and make a good fuzz stick. Anyway, that's just an observation. Moving on. As a study in contrast, earlier this year, closer to spring, I was standing at this very spot taking video, and the frogs were just alive and croaking and making noise and getting ready for whatever they do. And now I stand here today with just a slight breeze in the trees, and I hear nothing. The water levels are down. There's little to no bird activity at all registering in the trees, and yeah, I think it's interesting. Anyway, if I can find that clip, I'll put it in the video at this point and we can draw a comparison. But that is the change in seasons. Amazing. Well, as you can see, a lot of the trees down below the bluff here, the ridge line, have dropped their leaves, and the majority of the trees down there in the valley along the river are cottonwoods and a few maples, and with them all dropping their leaves, you can see a large portion of the river, large sweeping expanse going off in both directions. Quite a good view of the floodplain. And of course, if you drop down a little bit and look, you can see the railroad tracks. So it'd be a good chance to do some train spotting, I suppose, if anything large were to come through. But yeah, this is sure different. This is the view from one of the campsites in the A loop here at the park. And yeah, just thought I'd feature that. Well, it is overcast, cloudy, and a slight breeze, but the visibility now down towards the river here at the Eagle Lookout has gotten a lot better in the last couple of weeks. It was quite obscuring the river quite a bit back then. Maybe I can throw in a comparison shot, but yeah, just to see the river poking through the trees. You can look up and down quite a long ways, and I kind of like it. It's a nice place to stop. I'm sitting here wishing I'd brought my little gas stove and some water and cocoa to make up a hot cup, because it has cooled down a little bit in the last half an hour or so. Anyway, just had to get some scenery shots here for comparison. And here yet another more unobstructed view of the floodplain here on the Minnesota River. What's significant about this area is, a large cottonwood tree over here. There has been for a very long time an eagle's nest in the top of those trees, almost near center of the screen. But I do not see any remnants of it. I can't tell that there's any eagles around at all. Maybe the nest has come down. But still a nice view. I like it, and I'll keep returning to see if the eagles do populate this area. We do have a lot of them, a large family here in the park, and it's kind of fun to watch for them. All right, moving on. I just want to make mention that this particular area where I'm at is just outside the fence here of the bison range, and I just happen to know that along this area of the fence there's a lot of burdock. Now, it's kind of died back and the leaves are covering it, but the roots should still be there. And as an edible, this would be something that could be harvested now, and the rootstock could be used. And this is one place I would come to try to find some of it. So just thought I'd point that out. It's kind of fun to try to think of wild edibles in the fall, especially just prior to winter. Anyway, we're getting out along the fence line here, and I'm hoping to see some deer. Here's kind of a map of the park. I started out kind of about right here after walking to it from the parking area, then came up through the campground and along here and this ridge line and over to this trail, and then followed it all the way out and around here up to there, and now we're going to go back this way. So this 4/10 of a mile, and then 3/10 back to here, and then be another mile or so back down to the campground, and then a little bit into the parking lot. So yeah, a little over 3 miles probably for the day, 3.5 miles, something like that. It's not a good hiking. Did not see any bison though. Sorry about that. Didn't see any deer either. But we'll keep moving. Several months ago, might have been shortly before the pandemic, I featured this rock in one of my videos and it had some graffiti on it. And now I've returned to just see what has changed, and it looks like the graffiti has been removed. Although there is a couple of kind of recognizable patterns. So I can't tell if those are put on after or if they've just worn off with time. But I would not call them glyphs of any kind. But yeah, seems like human beings have always had a penchant for telling their stories by writing on rocks. Anyway, just wanted to show you that. There's a lot of interesting glacial erratics like this within the park, and some do show signs of human activity. Well, we finally got some sun, and it's just absolutely gorgeous to look out across the prairie here. It'll look even nicer without the fence. I remember those days. But even to just look out there and see the herd of bison would be kind of fun. Anyway, it's about 4:30, it's been a couple hours, and I'm headed back towards the car, kind of wrap up this day of exercise and adventure, and hope you've enjoyed seeing all the sights. It's great just to get out sometimes and just not accomplish a whole lot. As I was saying, you know, it's just a chance to get out and enjoy the weather. The fall is such a great time to get out and get some hiking exercise. All right, let's keep going. And I think tonight is Halloween. We'll have to do something special for supper. I'm building up an appetite. Well, my friends, I think it's time to call it a day. Thanks for coming along. I hope you're all surviving and getting out and getting dirty and getting through this COVID pandemic. We can do this together. It is possible. Hang in there. Be sure to just keep getting out and enjoying the things that you enjoy doing. And I know I am. I'll try to keep bringing you the adventures as I can. And yeah, so for now, take care, and be sure to like and subscribe. And thanks for coming along. We'll see you next time. Bye.